The issue I have is some of these ahadith are so ridiculously blasphemous to the Prophet.
This is the key that I was...
And the Prophets as a whole.
محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله علي ولي الله غضب العلوي.
Moving on to the aspect of, you know, in recent times you've been criticised and potentially attacked, obviously online, I don't mean physically,
of course.
in regards to your criticism of, I would say, Bukhari and generally as a whole, narrations that disrespect the Prophet, Islam. So this is something that I feel quite strongly about. Not necessarily about Bukhari in itself, because your issue is not Bukhari, it's what it's been made to become. And then about defending the Prophet's honor. How people, you know, like you said, they're willing to, you know, call other people disrespectful towards the Prophet, but then when you look at your own literature, they're not looking to, they don't put the Prophet first.
Honestly, I'm so amazed. Like, first thing I want to clarify, this whole Bukhari gate thing. Right, I have no kind of like issues with Imam Bukhari. Imam Bukhari was, for us, part of the Sunni tradition. He was obviously an amazing muhaddith who dedicated a huge portion of his life to studying this deen and trying, in his way, preserve it. Now, the Muslims themselves kind of did wrong onto him and made him suffer. So this is not about Imam Bukhari. This wouldn't even be about the book if it wasn't for the status that people have given the book. So people have said that this is the most reliable and authentic man-authored book on earth. Now that is a huge... Now the bigger the claim, the greater the evidence. Because like obviously if I make a small claim, evidence doesn't need to be that high. But if I'm making, this is the most authentic book on earth written by man, then whoa. Okay, now first of all, there's problems. How does this book even, it reaches us really just through one man who nobody kind of vouches for Rabri. But that's not even the point. Why did I even take this issue up? And there's the manuscript discrepancies. But what are some of the things contained within Bukhari? Because Bukhari comes with this bulletproof, bomb-proof kind of thing to it. So if it's in Bukhari, it's it.
Yeah, that's it done.
It trumps everything. Like I had a discussion with somebody yesterday. They called me and they said, look, Mufti, what are you trying to prove with this whole Bukhari thing? And I said, look, I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm just trying to be transparent. And they said, well, back forth. We went back forth. And I said, look, in theory, no Muslim says Bukhari is above the Quran. In theory, like in writing, no Muslim will write that. They won't say Bukhari is above the Quran. In practice, Bukhari is above the Quran. Bukhari defines Islam.
Not the other way
around. And not the Quran. Like, let's just be honest with ourselves. I said, look, you can find nonsensical stuff that the Quran would be against. Like, let's just say killing apostates. Quran seems to give a lot of, you know, lasta alayhim bi jabbar, ma anta alayhim bi musaytir, you're not forced. Afa anta tukriyu an-nasa taykunu mu'minin. Will you force people, compel them to believe, you know, la ikraha fi din. People say, oh, but it's in Bukhari. There's a hadith. And that too from a Khariji. Ikrama. Ironically putting it from Ali radiallahu anhu. But the thing is that, and the Khawarij didn't even like Ali. So the point is that this is one example. Like, you're going to get verses in the Quran talking about certain things. This is the harmony. Oh, but it's in Bukhari. And you see, okay, that's one thing. The other thing is, look at these hadith. Some of these things I would have no problem. Like, I mean, some of these things I would interpret my way. People want to interpret their way. Fine. The issue I have is some of these ahadith are so ridiculously blasphemous to the Prophet.
This is the key that I was...
And the Prophets as a whole. So you got the Prophet ﷺ, it's going to accuse, like this hadith I showed this last week, he would forget verses of the Quran and drop them from surahs. Like, he wouldn't even know they're part of a surah. In this one verse, he hears a blind man reading, oh, thank God, oh, may Allah bless him. He reminded me, there was a verse I dropped from a surah. Thank God he reminded me. Acha, mashallah. This is the state of the Prophet that they're portraying. They're portraying that the Prophet would do things like they're saying, oh, there's a hadith. I know they're going to interpret this. The Prophet fell over, unconscious naked.
I've seen that one.
Because
the other one, yeah.
They're going to say that the Prophet ﷺ became clumsy, started having false fantasies of sexual, like, oh yeah, no, I definitely had sex. No, you didn't.
The black magic one.
Yeah, the Prophet had magic done onto him. The Prophet was poisoned like this. The Prophet Moses running around naked so people could see his testicles if they're fine or not. What kind of nonsense is this? What kind of
As in, it's very disrespectful towards prophets.
Very, what the hell is this? Apart from making him look totally stupid, like running around chasing a rock.
Ruin credibility.
Right. But the point is, on top of that, you've got he's running around so people can see his testicles. He's a prophet of God. Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam is wanting to, I want to have sex with 100 women this night. Apart from this statement in itself, right? The fact that, because he chooses not to say inshallah, God punishes him with a handicapped baby. So handicapped babies are a punishment from God, and then they're a punishment to prophets.
To Anbiya, who are the greatest.
What the hell are we even talking about? How are we talking about prophets like this? I don't even understand what the hell's going on here. So when
you rather respect the sanctity of...
where is our loyalty?
Leave the word Bukhari, because
it's not about Bukhari.
It's a trigger word.
Even if this hadith
show it, no problem. Because the trigger word becomes Bukhari. If you rather respect the sanctity of a book rather than respect the sanctity of Anbiya.
Yeah, because we're saying that, because of our loyalty to scholars, Ibn Hajar said this is okay, my sect said this is okay. Where's our loyalty to the Prophet? How can we disrespect the Prophet like this? There's a hadith in Sahih Muslim. The Prophet apparently he's kind of jealous because he thinks Maria is, who I've said I believe is his wife, but anyway, they've said is his slave girl, is having an affair. So he sends Ali radiallahu anhu to kill the person. And when he gets there, Ali's about to kill him, and he realizes, the person doesn't even have a penis. So Ali's like, okay, right, well, you couldn't have been having an affair. So he goes back to the Prophet, and the Prophet just says, okay. So, wow, this is our Prophet. This is what, who's doing this? Islamophobes ain't doing this. They're not making up these...
But they use these narratives. In the discussions, they use that against Prophet.
So they're saying, well...
Giving fuel to the enemies of
Islam. Exactly, this is our greatest disservice to the Prophet. I can't believe recently, bring this up, there's a discussion on Twitter. It's a public discussion, so I don't mind discussing it. There's an American Maulvi, Hamza Maqbool. I can't believe that. I know he's had issues with me calling me a kafir in the past for denying the second coming of Jesus. But that's minor anyway. Not that these things...
Give me something bigger than that, come on, man.
But there's a great ustad. Now this is an interesting thing. You see, there's an ustad from, I believe, from Canada. Ustad Shibli is the man. He's from Canada.
Texas, I think. America.
Is it American or Canada?
Oh, right. Okay. Same thing.
But anyway, from that part, same thing for us on that side of the pond, right? So as it is, Ustad Shibli. Now the thing is, even with this Bukhari thing, this is a fine example. He disagrees with me strongly on this. Why are you criticizing? And I can understand his claim.
I can understand where
he messaged me privately. Said to me, look, Mufti, I'm just, why, we're being attacked on all ends.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Why are you kind of raising this? This is giving more fuel to people who hate Islam. Now, I understand where he's coming from, legitimate concerns. And I've said, look, I understand where you're coming from, but I feel a lot of those, that fuel is coming from these traditions. So if we can just be honest and transparent, we then can't be strong-armed into having to accept these, because we're just being honest. And saying, well, look, there's hadith in these books that are unacceptable.
Yeah. So you're dealing
with the way Imam Malik taught us in the Muwatta. Look, I bring hadith, and some we reject, and others we accept. Let's be real. What's this dogmatism? We have to now. Ustad Shibli said, fine, I'll take a look at your video. Very respectful. But my point was, there was a live public discussion between him and Hamza Maqbool. Now Hamza Maqbool, it's something to do with about people when they're doing gym workouts and they're showing their kind of upper body, and the whole thing was, did the Prophet ever reveal his chest? Okay. Now personally, right, whether at that time people reveal their chest or not isn't really, from an Islamic perspective, a big deal. It's not like seen for men. It isn't really. So on this thing, apparently Hamza Maqbool had called somebody a bagharat or something, which means like with shameless or
no shame.
And so maybe this word is really strong in Farsi. So Ustad Shibli had said to him, look, do you mind not using the? I'm surprised you use this word because in Farsi it's a really strong word. So Hamza Maqbool's response to Ustad, and he's supposed to be a teacher himself, a sheikh himself. He said to him that, oh, so you have no problem with saying the Prophet was shirtless. And he said, look, I don't understand the big deal. Ain't there some narrations that the Prophet was like this and you could see the whiteness of his kind of armpit, so you could see. And he said, look, I don't understand what the big deal, because there's hadith in the Shama'il as well where they describe the hair on the Prophet's chest and stuff like that. And he said, oh, so how would you like it? This is Hamza Maqbool saying to Ustad Shibli, how would you like it if I said, your mum walks around topless in, like, this is in the public.
The kiosk is a bit.
I'm like, wow, like this is a sheikh addressing another, like a sheikh. How would you like it if your mum walks around, like if I said that? And Ustad said to him, look, he said to him, look, wow, I can't believe you'd say this about other people's mum. Maybe when we meet in person we can discuss. So his response to this, Hamza Maqbool's response was, oh, so if I diss your mum, it's offensive, but when you diss the Prophet, acha. So this was a newly founded love for the Prophet, which mashallah, at face value, you think, acha, so you love the Prophet. Wait a minute, ain't you the same person endorsing that the Prophet was clumsy? Ain't you the same person endorsing that the Prophet had a sexual relationship with a child? Ain't you the same person endorsing that the Prophet Moses ran around naked? Ain't you the same person endorsing that Sulaiman alayhi salam was punished with a handicapped child for, wanting sex with 100? Ain't you the same? Where's the respect to the Prophet there?
The sanctity of the Prophet has to come.
Why ain't you, by the way, you endorse your own teachers saying the knowledge of the Prophet is no different to the knowledge of a madman. Like, you don't, like, my point is, you're not, like, look, I'm all for, like, that's my thing, that why are we not respecting the Prophet?
Why is he not coming first?
And exactly, so making a stupid claim about saying, oh, did the Prophet have a shirt on or not?
Emotional argument.
Which isn't even really a big deal.
Compared to the other things in there.
Compared to what you've got all this nonsense that you're saying, oh, that's fine.
Because I've noticed even in your criticisms of Bukhari per se, because his narrations, everyone just like, oh, he's saying this. No one really wants to deal with the narrations.
Yeah, because
if you notice that no one actually tackled. Okay, leave the robbery. Even I've become an expert now. I've learned but leave all that. No one actually just wants to deal with the mutton.
Because I said, look at this hadith. The Prophet coming to that Mar'atul Kilabiyah, that woman saying, look, and in different narrations. Okay, he may say, I want to get married to her, but in that narration, I said, address this one, the most authentic one that you're saying. He says, give yourself to me as a gift, like gift yourself to me. And she, supposed to be a Muslim, says, oh, by the way, I've seen a rebuttal of this. What a rebuttal. I can't believe these people make rebuttals.
They make a lot of rebuttals.
The guy reads, he plays my clip and goes, oh, stuff like this is Zindiq or whatever, this person like me, yeah, like I've obviously lost the plot. It's kafir, yeah, basically. And then he goes, look what he's saying, let me read the English and show you it doesn't say that. So he reads the English with a different translation. I'm like, oh, well, that was easily done, wasn't it? Because that's not what
there's this concept of when you say something.
Because she says, وَهَلْ تَهَبُ الْمَلِكَةُ نَفْسَهَا لِلسُّوقَ. He goes, look at this guy, Abu Layth, translate this. He's translating it as low life. Suqa doesn't mean that. Suqa means like your ordinary man. No, it bloody doesn't. Right? No, it bloody doesn't. It means like the low life of a society. How are you allowing this nonsense towards our Prophet?
So this is key. This is key message.
Dismiss it. Say that that's utter nonsense.
You can keep the respect of the books. Just say these narrations about the Prophet.
I'm not saying, like, I've not said, look, you need to throw Bukhari away.
Yeah, it's about the respect of the Prophet.
I've not said that. I've never said throw Bukhari away.
Yeah, this is not.
But like, at least respect the prophets. At the end of the day, these hadith that are disrespecting the prophets, that are saying all this kind of stuff, say that what the hell is this kind of nonsense? Why are we tolerating this? And then having fake love for the Prophet and saying, oh, we love the Prophet. How dare anybody say the Prophet never had a shirt on? You think like, okay, mashallah, like I like where you begin your standards, but can you address these real issues?
Can you address the elephant in the room? Can you address the elephant first? Yeah.
You accuse him of running around naked.
Like you're accusing Moses of running around naked so people could see his testicles are normal, and you've got no problem with that, chasing a rock which doesn't make any sense anyway. What the hell is that? Why did you chase a rock? But anyway, right, so making our prophets look clumsy and stupid.
It sounds a lot like Israeli art.
Of course, and even the ones to do with our prophet, like why are they like? How are you tolerating? Like I don't understand. Like,
why does not your emotions go high for that?
Exactly.
Why
are we like kind of like saying, oh, well, like we're doing all this acrobat to justify this?
But why not just like,
outright say, look,
they got it wrong here.
This thing is nonsense.
Now related to this, Mufti Saab, is the aspect of akal over knuckle. Or knuckle over akal.
Yeah, like I feel, look,
like you've got the text now transmitted.
We've got to understand that this deen is only understood through reason. In this world, we only understand things through reason. Like truly, any object. If I ask somebody, how do you know Islam to be true? Any answer beyond reason will never cut it. Because if you're going to say, I experience it to be true, well, so does a Hindu experience Hinduism.
Subjective, isn't it?
You know, like if you say, oh, I experience it, like, that doesn't mean anything. What does experience mean?
That's
like,
subjective.
So the only valid answer is through reason. Like you can reason Islam to be true. Now, fine. But if you accept that reason, then you must honor it. You can't kind of like cut it off now. Okay, once I accept Islam, now I don't need reason.
Then reason gets cut off, yeah.
And the irony is in all of the Usul Hadith books, in most of the Usul Hadith books, or in many of the Usul Hadith books, they mention this. Ibn al-Jawzi mentions it, Ibn Hazm mentions it, Suyuti mentions it. They say any hadith that goes against aql, that goes against reason, we cannot accept. Yet, they don't apply it for some reason. But they have the theory.
It's there in the theory.
It's there in the books. I'm not making this up. They say whatever MALM yubayin al-aql, will accept it. MALM yubayin al-ma'qul, lam yukhalif al-manqul, wa lam yunaqid al-usul, then we accept the hadith. So reason can't go against the Quran and it can't uproot an Islamic principle. But in their application, they seem to lack, and I feel the reason for that was, I feel it's sectarianism and stuff like that, because they were so far down that road.
It was hard to go back.
They bashed so many other people for doing that. Now, if they start doing this in practice, then people would say, well, what's the difference between you and the...
So two things I would add to that. What if you would? What if someone would say to you, who's akal?
That's... Look, people say that. That's a very good question. So they say...
Who's akal?
So who's akal?
Because I would say that their segmentation is generally from their side, where they've got that complete knuckle.
This is a good point. Now, I would say that reason... First of all, let's look at the definition of reason. Reason is the ability of a healthy mind to think and make judgment, especially based on evidence. Now, this is what the definition of reason. There is, with reason, there's an intersubjectivity amongst human beings. The same, when they say who's aql, I would say the same aql that allowed you to understand why Hinduism doesn't make sense. Because when I ask you, why doesn't having a god with an elephant's head make sense? And you say, yeah, but it goes against reason. You
don't see Ganesh then?
Apparently I've said I see Ganesh, is it?
It's scaring me now. It's scaring me.
I've not said that, by the way. I wouldn't address Ganpati like that.
You know a lot about Hinduism,
right, so the thing is, no, the point is this thing, like when we're gonna dismiss Christianity, like why can't the son be the father? Why not? They say it doesn't make sense. According to whose sense? You see, you ask them...
I'm going to probably do a spinball on that. You know what they'll say? You know what they'll say, because Allah said no, so...
Yeah, so in that
They're using knuckle again.
So that's a good question, because I've had people sitting here debate this with me, and I want them to say that. So they will say, oh, we believe in that because God said... I say, okay, fine. So how do you know this word of God to be true? By saying it's just that the book says it.
Yeah.
So I say, yeah, but here's another book that says it's true. Here's another book that says it's true. So how do you know the Quran to be true?
Well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the Holy Prophet is the best of examples. And then you've got examples where, according to them, problematic.
Yeah, but I'm just on truth alone.
Just like you're saying, yeah, but if they say it's transmitted...
No, so fine. So in that case, I would say, and I'll accept that. They'll say, no, I just say, because the book says
the Quran says it.
So in that case, you don't actually know it to be true.
Yeah, it's
so you're just blindly following.
Yeah, because Allah says.
So, but they won't accept that. They won't say no. I don't. They say no. I know Islam to be true. So I say okay. So how do you know it to be? Because Hindu books say they're the truth. The Bible says it's the truth. We've got, every religion says it's the truth. No religion is going to say, well, I'm not the truth, follow them. That religion is like totally got its marketing department messed up. They need to sack their PR person immediately.
They got over there, man. They're better
to crucify that person. Right, so every book is going to say, holy book is going to say it's the truth. So how do you know it's the truth?
Every book is corrupted.
You only know it. Like, how do you know the Prophet to have been the messenger? Or how do you know the only way you know this, Islam to be the truth, is you must have reasoned it. Like, you must have thought, well, does it add up with this? So far it adds up. From all the religions, it at least it stands the test of time. It stands the test of reason. Islam does not. I know in some twisted interpretations, like I've mentioned, but generally, the way I've seen it, the way many people see it, Islam has no contradictions. It does not clash with reason. Whereas Christianity does clash with reason. Having three is one.
The stagnation of the aspect of only naql over aql, I think this causes a lot of issue, because when you switch off, in our tradition, in Al-Ghafiyah Sharif, the first chapter is the book of intellect.
Okay.
So all narrations about the intellect, how intellect is very important.
Yeah.
As in, I feel like that tradition is getting lost now.
It has been lost. It's been
lost
like,
for centuries. It's like asanid, chain. That's it.
Because the thing,
because if a chain proves satanic verses, what happens then?
Yeah, which it does according to certain people, according to.
So the only thing you can do then is weaken the chain.
Exactly.
And then they're forcing them weaken chains. You see how they work? Rather than just say, I don't care if it's sahih, I don't care if it's weak. The mutton is unacceptable.
And do you know what this also does? This gives leverage to the appeal to authority. Because if aql is not an authority, if reason is unacceptable, then who is the authority? The authority is just the mullahs and the mulvis and that's it. Like, why do you do that? You drink camel's urine. It has shifa in it. Why does it have shifa in it? It's bloody camel's urine. Yeah, but I said so. Because it's in Bukhari and I said so. But that doesn't make any sense, Maulana Sahib. They're like, yeah, but the deen isn't supposed to make sense. You think, well, wait a minute, let me get this right. God gave me an intellect and he said, use it. He said, oh, but when I'm going to test you, make sure you don't use it that way. Because if you use it, then you're going to mess up.
Well, the biggest test
it's like, what kind of sick games is God playing? This is like what kind of game?
The biggest question we're asking Mufti Sahib, will you drink it?
This camel's urine thing is so stupid. Honestly, apart from the fact that even in Bukhari, that he brings two. He brings one where he doesn't have it, and brings one from. It's only transmitted through one person, Anas, and there's problems in that chain as well. But they do. You know what's disgusting? They like in Saudi on YouTube, you can see some of the babies drink it.
No, but what's funny is when people like, I think in Hinduism they have a practice where they do something similar.
Yeah, they drink cow.
But it's criticized,
and we mock that.
I know we have in our books as well. I know we have in our books as well. So that's not the point. The point is the aspect of the.
But they will mock it. This is my point. You see, when you're gonna speak, because when this is my point. I've said to people, if you want to truly switch on your cognitive faculties, let's talk momentarily about another religion. People become really kind of. All of a sudden critical. Oh yeah. Oh, that sounds dumb. Look, Hinduism.
It's true because you're looking at
really critical.
But then when it comes to yourself, you switch it off.
Keep that
mindset and come here. He goes, what's wrong with it? That's fine. But you're like, you said it was wrong there. It's like, yeah, but it's fine now.
He's like,
I can sit back down there. Oh, it's wrong.
Change the animal.
It's like I asked somebody. I said,
change the animal. It's
a cow.
It's a cow. That was a cow. That's different.
It's like I asked somebody that I said to them, look, tell me what's absurd about a monkey flying over to Sri Lanka and saving people. They go, don't be stupid. Somebody actually had this conversation with me.
No, I remember you mentioned
they said, don't be stupid. I said, why not though? I said, look, monkeys move about, they do stuff, they can get stuff. He goes, yeah, but that's dumb. I said, but yeah, I suppose you're right. It's not as dumb as like if you're going to say that, it's not as absurd as a tree walking about and talking and kind of like crying. And they go, no, but that's different. I said, but why is that different? They said, but that's because of the Prophet. So I said, but like I don't understand what you. Like this.
We'll have a separate discussion off the camera on this.
Yeah, but my point was like I said.
The point is that you can't.
Look, what I'm trying to say wasn't the issue.
You can believe
it wasn't about
issues.
My issue wasn't about this one point. My point was about a greater narrative of
reason. What's your
why are you so critical
of one thing,
everything else.
But then when you have it yourself,
because I said, look, do you either say Hindu beliefs can also be true, but I just don't believe them, or do you say they're nonsense?
If you say nonsense,
if you say they're nonsense and absurd, then that's hypocritical. Because like, why are you then saying like, oh, here cows can talk? Like that hadith I read out last week, that cow talking in Arabic and the wolf talking in Arabic, and I said that this is an interesting hadith, isn't it? Like, why are we? But then they will say, ha ha ha, like, we'll mock their religion.
Narrate from a donkey or something.
But you shouldn't be. Yeah, exactly. Don't mock that. It's more about consistency approach.
So that's my thing.
So that's your main thing with the whole Bukhari thing.
About let's be consistent and reason. This thing of whose reason. Look. So people say, okay, can reason? This is a good counter question. Well. People will say, look, oh, can reason comprehend everything? Because people, this is a comeback. And I want to be fair. That look, I'm not saying reason can comprehend everything, but what I'm saying is it's the best we've got.
Yeah.
Like, it's the best we've got.
And to an extent, it's been commanded that we use it.
It is. Actually, it's endorsed. The Prophet, throughout his lifetime, the companions, the Quran, our teachings, it's all
as in, you can see as an objective. Even the Prophet ﷺ saying, speak to people on their level.
Yeah,
that's a form of intellect, right?
Like, do you want that Allah and His Messenger are denied just because you are speaking in a nonsensical way to people?
Wow.
This is the I remember quoting that hadith of which is in Bukhari. What was it? Abdullah ibn Hadhafa, was it? Who the Prophet sent on that expedition, and his Amir, and told him obey the Amir, and the Amir said, you know what, we've all kind of messed up on something, everybody jump in this fire.
He's like,
and punish us, like this is how we need to atone by killing ourselves. And he was like, are you mad? He goes like, we came to Islam to escape a fire, I'm not going to jump into another fire. And so he went to the Prophet, and the Prophet said, well done. But what did he make that judgment on?
But that means that Prophet's statement was within reason.
Because then the Prophet said, that's a disobedience. Right? Don't kind of like obey people in disobedience. But he was making this judgment based on reason.
Otherwise, if he had taken it literally,
if you taken the Prophet just saying, obey your leaders.
Then which people would,
he would have just jumped in the fire.
You've got to apply some sort. And just as a thing, Mu'tazili thought, and this is quite interesting, right? Have you studied a little bit about them?
I mean, I've read up on some. I mean, I don't know if I specialize. Some people have accused me that.
No, but the reason
this is fine.
It's not fine.
What we like to do as Muslims.
Put you in a box.
You see, we want to. We become insecure when somebody's critical.
Yeah.
So it's easier. It's like Sheikh Yasir Qadi kind of saying about me, I wish he would just declare himself a separate sect.
Because Yasir Qadi of America?
Yeah, of America.
Oh, he said that about you?
I mean, he didn't mention my name, but he said like this person who claims
you made it. If he's addressing you, made it.
Oh, he's definitely addressing my issue. This Bukhari gate thing. He's kind of like said, well, this person problematizing Bukhari.
But he's quite intellectual. I'm surprised that comes from him.
And then he said, and he claims to belong to like the Maliki thing, and basically he's trying to, like, he's saying that I'm using like Sunni and Maliki Islam to kind of coat my agenda. So he said, well, I wish he would just be open and declare himself a separate sect, and we could just wash our hands of him. Like, no, if I became Shia. But if I became anything, like, so when they say Mu'tazili, their point is like, it's easier, now he's not a threat. Because now he's just a deviant sect. So we don't need to worry about it.
Now we don't need to worry, it's the issue that...
now if anything he says, we can say he's a Mu'tazili.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But they consider Muslims.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, yes, they will consider Mu'tazili, but then Imam, the point is, I've said, look, the main difference initially with Mu'tazila was to do with Iman and sins, and do you leave out of kind of,
like you said, you mentioned
leave Islam and stuff like this. And it was to do with like kind of state policies and stuff. It's nothing to do with using reason.
It's true.
Imam Abu Hanifa was a major proponent of reason.
Yeah, you mentioned this one in your videos that all scholars use. Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah, they painted it out like...
Imam Malik was considered from Ahlul Ra'i, the people of reason. Why? Just because over the centuries and this was, it's a shame really, because what happened with the Mu'tazila thing, in my understanding, is there was this theological kind of turf war, and as a byproduct of this war, Muslims, they wanted to get back at the Mu'tazila.
We don't use reason.
So because the Mu'tazila caught onto this. So they started mocking mainstream Muslims, like, well, look at this stupid hadith, like you're going to believe. So the response would, instead of also saying, yeah, but we don't believe that, they start saying, you're using your reason,
And it's like, yeah, that's the right thing to
then
do.
just
And that was the right thing to do, yeah.
This just became the thing then to say, like, you guys use your aql. It's like,
yeah.
They accuse Twelvers of that as well.
Yeah, I know, because
because it's inclined towards that kind of understanding. So, my point was that what they should have done was owned reason. Because in all of our books, it's owned. Like, what does Fakhruddin al-Razi say?
These the
Nurun ala nur. On the tafsir of this ayah, he says this is revelation upon intellect.
Wow.
Like nurun ala nur. And he says that, look, anybody who says that naqal of, this is a misleading argument, aqal over naqal, because I've said this before, this is like one of those arguments in saying, are you British first or Muslim first? Because it's a false dichotomy that really doesn't make any sense, because this is what Al-Razi is writing in his tafsir, that everything is only understood through reason. So when you say, are you first a person of reason or a person of revelation, it's like you're putting them against each other.
It's not an awkward, they're not
and the false dichotomy you present to the common Muslim is you're trying to say, Astaghfirullah, your aql is greater than God.
Well, they say about aql Nabi al-Batini or something, they say about
yes, but I would never say that. I'm never saying my reason is greater than God. But what I'm saying, so this is a false dichotomy. You know, are you British? Are you Muslim?
Yes.
Like people like,
can't
what
I be
am I
both?
supposed to say?
Can't I be both?
Exactly,
Yeah.
like ain't I just both?
Yeah.
Revelation is only understood through reason.
Intellect. Very
Are you
important.
British or are you Pakistani?
Yeah.
That one's old now.
The Ash'ari and the Maturidi schools were very good at reason.
They initially were,
Then
but then with time they kind of fell prey to this whole...
Fakhruddin Razi and stuff, these lot.
Fakhruddin Razi was
like
huge.
a master, yeah,
he was like huge on reason, saying that anybody who says reason, the person's just lost the plot. And we are the only people, I think, I mean this may be just my pathetic research, but we are the only community I'm aware of that looks down on reason, like where it's a cuss, it's a slur to say, you use your aql.
You know, in the
Like, can you imagine that?
Yeah,
we're the only community that say, you use your brain. And then everybody's like, he uses his brain. That's actually a slur. And the person there is like so confused, like, then he has to weirdly argue, no, I don't.
But there's an interesting impact on this about, and we'll finish on this and go to the next one.
Okay.
Because I know I've taken a lot of your time as well today. So in regards to something that's being inherently good and inherently evil.
Yeah.
In Imami Shia theology, we have something called where is lying bad in itself, evil in itself, or is it evil because Allah said it's evil?
Yeah.
So,
what is the Shia stance?
The Shia stance it's evil.
Not necessarily lying, but on the whole morality.
Morality, that things are good and bad in itself, and Allah commands or forbids it because they're bad in itself. They don't become bad because Allah said it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I totally. You see, this what you're saying is what I've argued. So they call it, like in philosophy, they call it divine commandment theory.
Yeah.
And the Asha'ira and the Usuliyin traditionally, they used to call it like a tahsin al-aqli wa taqbih al-aqli.
Yeah.
So are things bad of themselves or are they only because God said it's bad?
God said it.
So what I've said is that, you see, the way Imam Abu Hanifa believed traditionally, that morality just exists. Humans have come to this understanding, and there may be some underlying kind of morality instinct at a very base level, but we then make things socially. Religion just came as a social remedy. Like the rules just came in for the preservation of life and stuff like this, but as a social remedy. We did killing is not bad just because God said it.
Yeah, you see, this is key.
The Ash'aris on this, I think, kind of lost the plot.
They said that it's bad because only because Allah said it.
Yeah, so they just basically, and this I think was just a stubbornness that they kind of adhered to. They shouldn't have, in my understanding. The Maturidis kind of went a bit with Imam Abu Hanifa, but then also kind of
flew back.
Yeah, just swung back.
You never know. Maybe it was because maybe the Shias and Mu'tazila maybe said it.
No, because a lot of this was because
Shias are doing it, so it must be wrong.
Because the point is, it became theological warfare. That look, because the Mu'tazila said it, we're going to hate it. But wait a minute, so did Imam Abu Hanifa say it. Why don't you claim it? Why don't you own it?
Why don't you own it?
Like, why are you anything they say we must hate? Things they're saying, other people have said as well. It's not just exclusively Shia Islam.
And you make it to an exclusive thing.
Now, as a result, we've ended up with a dumb theology of saying like, well, nothing is bad. Oh,
only one. It's you're closing your,
of course,
you're closing your intellect again.
You just have to read the Quran. The Quran is addressing you as though you know what's good and bad.
Yeah, 100%.
Why is the Quran addressing you like that then? Why is it saying, oh, don't do this, oh, stay away, do good? It ought to say, right, people, good is just a concept that I here am decreeing, and this is what it means. The Quran doesn't talk to people like in a philosophy class. It just tells them, look, do this, do good, stay away from bad.
Yeah, there is some perception of that.
Allah yuharrimul, what is it, khaba'ith. Yuhillu lakum at-tayyibat. Like He makes good things halal. He makes haram,
good things,
which means that the good things are already
good in itself.
there.
Good in itself. There you go. Yeah.
Already there.
That's a good proof. I'll use that next time.
That is usually the usul
that's a good. Yeah.
And I've said this before that look, morality with the Prophet, even with the prophets, with different it changed, it evolves. Today, 21st century morality and ethics is different from 500 years ago. So, in my understanding, with trajectory hermeneutics, that we would today, the Sharia would once again be a remedy for our problems, not for problems just for people 800 years ago, for us too. So, if the morality has changed, the ahkam would change. So, this is.
Are you saying on camera that she has got it right?
I'm saying.
See that pressure there? He's like, I'm saying.
You know when I'm saying.
Abu Hanifa got it right.
I'm saying, you know when the Shia stole the shoes of Imam Abu they stole this book as well.
Sheikh, I was gonna actually try that with you.
You were trying that today.
I was gonna
ask you today.
Before I was gonna come in.
We're gonna put your shoes.
Carry my shoes.
I said, there's no Maliki. We're like, Sheikh, move this too fast. You're gonna clock that one.
By the way, just for the camera, that's actually the count by al-Maliki, isn't it?
We have that one. Everyone claims it. That we claim that by one of our scholars. Al-Maliki had a debate.
Oh, right.
And it's one of those ones everyone claims. Any good discourse, everyone claims it.
Everybody claims it. But I think this is, you see, once again, this is a good point of saying, look, today, probably, I'm not sure if the Shia are more, is it known for this? This understanding generally, this tahsin al-aqli?
Yeah, we're known for it.
Okay, it's known. So this may be another reason just to kind of like hate on it by people. And we need to detach our emotions
to do with the
from
good arguments.
Theological discourse.
100%.
Because theological discourse, this thing to do with Shia, this had nothing to do with Shia. This was nothing to do with that whole, the split and stuff like that. So this is just something that the Usuliyin debated, that how do we, and they had such an intelligent debate.
No, but you can see even that question, such an intelligent question.
And you know what, I raised this, I was on a group, this Arabic scholars group, a while back. I mean, I'm still on one of them that's still okay, but that one I left was a few nutcases on there. But the point is that on there, I once raised this discussion because, you see, for dialogue, words are very important. And terminology.
Yes, understand.
The discussion on morals and ethics is so overdue, but the problem is the way we translate morals and ethics into Arabic today, I think messes up the discourse. So I asked them that, you see, they translate morals today as akhlaq. But this is messed up because we don't understand akhlaq to mean that. We understand akhlaq to mean like good manners. So when people say, oh, do akhlaq change?
No, you see.
See, it doesn't sound right.
It doesn't sound right.
But the old Usuliyin didn't refer to this as they referred to it as a tahsin al-aqli and taqbih al-aqli.
Exactly, subject.
And that is a better wording because it was detached from emotion. So they could debate it. Like today they want to say, do akhlaq change?
No, obviously,
should we have 21st century akhlaq?
Yeah.
And that doesn't sound right because that sounds like, oh, you almost want to get rid of values.
Yeah, no, I get it, yeah.
So I posted this kind of discussion on the, needless to say, nobody engaged it. They were like, oh, this guy must be
They're like, kick him out, he's a deviant. Kick him out, he's a deviant.
This guy must clearly be a deviant.
No.